Welcome to the Ascend Your Success podcast. Whether you're just starting out or are a veteran looking to grow your business, you're in the right place. Join us to learn how to achieve financial freedom while working and living life on your own terms. Hear valuable insights, strategies, and interviews with successful entrepreneurs. Get ready to achieve the success you've always dreamed of. Ready? Let's go.
Got it. What's going on, guys? My name is Wyatt Reed, and this is the Ascend Your Success podcast. And today I've got Kate Danese on. We have been in a couple of different masterminds together. This is actually our first time meeting, but I've seen you all over Facebook. It's an honor to have you. And we're going to talk about coaching today. We're going to take a little detour on the real estate side of things, and we're going to talk about coaching, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. Kate, can you just introduce yourself, give us a little background real quick before we get rolling?
Yeah, thanks, Wyatt. Thanks for having me. I've been in real estate and real estate investing for 11 years now, and I feel like I've done a little bit of everything to figure out what's worked and what definitely has not worked. And once I found success in real estate, I immediately wanted to pivot into coaching because it was just more passion, purpose filled, and that's where I'm at now.
That's awesome. So you were telling me before you got into the retail side of things. You flipped a house and then you got into retail and you kicked butt on that. So why did you go the retail side instead of the investor side, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, every question, every time. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I was flipping houses, right? I had a passion to flip houses. And I was like, well, these people are making, these realtors that we're buying houses from and selling the house from are going to be making, our average was $350,000 in my area. That's like a big commission check. So I was like, let me get my real estate license. And then I could just help facilitate finding the deals because I was finding them on market, not wholesalers. And that's originally how I started. But I grew up in a very small town and word of mouth caught wind that I had my realtor license. And it was just organic growth from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think too many people want to throw the gas on and get out of the organic stuff, but they don't realize how powerful it is and how much you can scale without. I think Tiffany High was one of those examples. I think she was talking to us not long ago and said that she, like, her first 10 million was all organic, or something like that, something outrageous, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's like underrated because it does take a little bit of work, right? You're like relationship building as opposed to just spending money on ads. But it's so more sustainable, I think, because you can get repeat and referral business, et cetera, from it as opposed to ads, which is very transactional. So I think there's a time and place for both, but
so you were kicking butt and then you decided, hey, I'm going to make this transition into the consulting world. For me personally, I always tell everybody, like, when I first started, like, I was just a normal dude, like, from a small town of like 7,000 people, and I'm like, I flunked out of college, I barely made it through high school. Like, if I can do it, then anybody can do it, right? And I said from that day that I started real estate, if I was going to be good at it, then I was going to turn around and help other people be good at it too, that are just like me, you know? And
yeah.
so I think that that's one passion that I feel like you have to have, right? So what was that for you? Like, is that similar story for you?
Yeah, like the whole time I was building my retail business, I literally would just wake up every day and be like, I'm literally just building this to learn how to help others. Like, this is not exactly what's driving me. Like, this is not my passion to sell more homes, right? It's like, it's transactional. Let's just like call it as it is. um, but like the growth that you learn from doing it is unbelievable and tremendous, and you can't learn it without doing it. So I feel like I learned what I needed to. And as soon as I felt that, I was actually recruited for my first coaching job. He like asked me to help him, and that was it. That was like the
Right.
end of it.
Right. There's been so many times, like, when you get in this, and if you're listening to this, if you're new, then you're not going to understand this quite yet. But if you're a little bit more advanced, everybody wants to pick your brain. Everybody wants to take you out to lunch. Everybody wants to know how you do what you do. And you spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, sleepless nights, tears, blood, everything like that to build what you got. And so after a couple of lunches, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore unless people pay me. It takes up so much of your time. And it also shows you the opportunity there to be able to do what you love and get paid for it as well. Like I can go meet with people and consult with them, have lunch with them, get paid for it too, right? And so that's an awesome feeling.
Yeah, and you're like changing their life, right? So, like, yes, I can sell you a house, or yes, I can buy your house for a couple of cents on the dollar and help you like get out of your hardship, etc. But there's just something dramatically different about coaching. You're literally taking somebody from point A and bringing them to Z, and you're watching their progress along the way. And I think as soon as I got a coach, when I was like 27 or 28, so a couple of years into my real estate career, as soon as I got a coach, my growth trajectory just like skyrocketed. Everything changed. And I think seeing how impactful my coaches have been to me, it just like makes you want to give back even more.
Right. Right. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, let's talk about getting into coaching because I don't know if if you're anything like me, like you've been through probably a few different coaching models, several different
Yeah.
offers. It's like, well, this guy over here is doing one-on-one and he's making $50,000 per person, or this guy over here doing a group model and he's got 100 clients paying him $5,000. And it's like, what how did you decide, and what did that look like when you first started versus what does it look like now? Like, what coaching model were you looking at? Or did you even know?
Yeah, so when I first started, when someone called and said, "Hey, can you help me work on this?" I just made up an offer like that day. I was like, "Oh, I don't know, let me like figure it out." And I made up an offer and that's what we went with. I definitely did some wrong things there. I didn't have a coach that was coaching me how to coach.
Right,
And it's like a
right.
whole new business model. So I made up my offer and I went with it. And I was doing a little bit of the work. So I was like consulting. So I was like manually, it was like man hours essentially, as opposed to just coaching where you're like talking through it. So I would say that's one of the things I did wrong in the beginning. I wasn't charging enough for doing the actual work.
Yep.
But I started high ticket. I started with $60,000 a year contracts, and which is decent.
Yeah.
And I never even considered low ticket. Like I didn't even, it wasn't even a thought in my mind. And then as you like, right, I've been in it for like 3 years now, as you're like in the coaching space, education space, there's a lot of talk about low ticket and it does confuse you. But I think the best advice that I've gotten is low ticket only works if you have a really big audience and you can make it like a very passive offer.
Mhm.
I've never offered low ticket, and other coaches have asked me like, "Well, what do you do if you're meeting with a client and they can't afford it?" And I just simply don't have an offer for them yet. Maybe eventually I will, but I don't yet. So I've stayed in the high ticket space, and I think the return on investment that people are getting allows me to stay there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've tried a few different things. The model that Tom has taught me has been the easiest to. I agree. Like I've spent a few years trying to build up my audience. I don't have a big audience comparatively, I would say. But, just the one-on-one model is what I started out with. It's what I was taught from the beginning, and to me, it was very draining. It was kind of built around me. And obviously, like you said, I didn't know what I didn't know. There are ways to build a one-to-one model that's way better than what I'm describing right now. But when I transitioned to that one-to-many model that Tom teaches, man, I've seen such a huge difference in the community that we built. People are going and looking at houses together. They're passing each other deals, and to me, like it was always I wanted to build this community of that right there. Like people who are
Yeah.
go-givers who want to help each other. Like it's not based around me, it's based around the community that we built together. And so
Yeah.
that's essentially what's made me happy as far as where we're at now. It's just really what do you want? Try different things, it's gonna happen. Like we've changed our name 100 times, we've changed our model 100 times, we've changed our offer 100 times, and we'll probably do it 100 more, you know?
Yeah, you're supposed to reinvent yourself and your offer as you are growing, right? So I don't believe that you need to create an offer now for the next like 20 years. I think your offer's supposed to evolve with you. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
And then, yeah, to your point, like the one to many is like very limited, right? You can only meet with so many people in a day.
right.
But once you move to one to many, like group coaching, for example, it's unlimited
Mhm.
how many people you can be helping teach what worked for you and how it can work for them.
Right. Well, I know a lot of people who have wanted to transition into coaching, and it's interesting because kind of both of us are similar to which we've transitioned to the coaching, and then for me, I'm looking for other coaches to come in to my business, right? And so I've been, trying to figure out how to put all of my things in a teachable teachable modules, teachable, stuff like that, so that I can pass it off to other coaches. But you actually have a coaching coaches model as well. So how did, why did you transition from that to the real estate to coaching coaches? What brought that jump on?
Again, it was like I was coaching the real estate investors business. So people that were already doing like 100 to 400 flips a year, like in that range, or wholesale deals, depending on the investor's company. And it was just a natural like evolution. Like they're already sustainable in their business. And so like, well, now what's next? Because like they ultimately want something that's more fulfilling than the transactional business that real estate is.
Mm,
So then I started coaching them in that, and it just sort of like organically molded into me coaching coaches.
right. That's so interesting the way that you put that. So there are probably people that are listening right now who are thinking, man, I have people come to me all the time asking me questions, always trying to pick my brain, take me out to eat. What advice can you give those people to get started in coaching and say, "Hey, look, I'm tired of just giving these freebies out. Like, it's not fair. How do we structure this? What's the next step?"
The next step is to figure out how you're going to structure your offer. I believe in the model of starting one on one without like a website, or I didn't have any of that either when I signed a $60,000 client. I didn't have a website, I had nothing. So I think if you can create your offer, meaning like, Wyatt, I'm going to coach you for the next 90 days, one on one for 30 minutes every day. And our immediate goal is to get you your first flip. That's it.
Easy. Yeah.
So those people that are already calling you, like that's essentially your next offer. The people that are reaching out to you, asking you for the thing is your offer. You just sort of need to structure it with a monetary exchange. Um, I love high ticket. I think, especially in real estate, because you can make $40,000 on your first wholesale deal or $100,000 on your first flip. I think that you can justify your high ticket coaching program, even if it's for 90 days, for 10,000 or
Right.
20,000.
Right. What are some of the common roadblocks that you see in that transition? Because I know for me, it was like the imposter syndrome. Like I started coaching early into my real estate career, and I had good people behind me saying, "Why you've done more in the past 2 years than some people will ever do in their entire lives, right? So like, stop it." But I
Yeah.
internally struggled with that so much. So what are some of the common ones that you see?
Wyatt, I think you're right. I think everyone struggles with imposter syndrome in different phases of their life. But I think the biggest thing that gets in people's way is they actually think that they need to have all of this stuff like built out before they go and just pitch an offer. So they feel like they need a website or course created,
Mhm.
$15,000 minimum, right? Like, I'm going to go to a studio and have this fancy course with this high production created before I go and pitch my offer. And it's just simply not true.
Yeah.
So I think that's what gets in the way of people is they just don't know what they don't know. And most coaches teach you, or most things that you see online teach you that you have to go and have the course and the high production and the funnels. I have no idea how to make a funnel, but everyone
Yeah.
says you have to have one in order to coach,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you don't. So I think that's the biggest thing that gets into people's way.
Yeah. It took me 2 years to even start this podcast because I wanted my studio, I wanted the mics and the roadcasters and the this and the that. And once I actually got it all and started, I was like, man, this is so stupid. Why did I wait this long? So
Yep.
it's so true. Use like Tom's advice was to use your coaching, like start coaching and then use that to create content. Use that to create the course. And that was a mind shift for me because I was doing exactly what you said. Well, how to get started in real estate? Well, I need to find leads. So how do I and I'm building out this course and I'm like it took me forever when I could have just said, "Hey, I'm starting to coach. Anybody want to be a part of it?" And sold people in that day, right? So yeah, you definitely don't need that. It only helps to coach people to build up a better coaching program, right? Because when you first start coaching, you barely know what you're doing, right? So it's like, and you're taking on this responsibility too. You feel like you're responsible for these people, and so just
Yeah.
kind of, I would say like,
100%. It's not that you don't know what you're doing. It's new to you in the way that you're like translating the information that you
right,
know, right? So
right,
like I know what I did, but how do I like systematically in an organized way like transfer that information to somebody so they understand it enough to be able to get results?
yeah. We're at a 10, they're at a 1, and we got to figure out how to talk in a 1. That was
Yeah.
that was my hardest part too. Was like, well, what do you mean you don't understand this? How else can I word
Yeah.
it? No, for sure, I get that 100%. Well, cool. You gave us advice. You told us what we need to do as far as models, offers. Is there anything else that we missed as far as getting started in coaching? Because I think this is such an important thing. Like we think that there's so, like me and you see we're in all these different groups, so it's like man, everybody coaches, but realistically, it's such a small niche that there's so much that can be done. There's enough business to go around
Oh
everywhere,
my
right?
God. Yeah, I like don't believe that colleges and universities are going to be the thing anymore. I think it's going to be like this interaction, like who has had success that can just teach me the gateway of like my transformation that I'm looking for. Like, how do I get there as quick as possible? I don't want to go to school for 4 years. So I think that this industry is definitely in an upward trajectory. But yeah, what is something I mean, like, just talk to people, right? So if you already have people that are calling or messaging you or DMing you, like, get them on the phone and work with them and get them results as quick as possible. So you just keep getting referrals from them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's so simple to make a Facebook post and say, "Hey, this
Ugh,
is, if I could help you." That's all you got. I mean, to start off with, it's crazy the amount of response you get to something like that, you know, especially if you've been posting
especially,
about your real estate.
I was just going to say, especially if you've already been showing people what you've been doing, like flipping dirty houses, etc. The other like bigger picture thing is that I don't think a lot of people see in the beginning if they're thinking about coaching is the coaching business can actually be like a spoke in your real estate hub. So if you're familiar with the hub and spoke model where
Hmm.
you have a primary business and then all these ancillary businesses around it that feed it, your coaching business should be, if you do it properly, waterfall back into your real estate business, right? So, your coaching business, your students really should be helping you fuel more deals in your real estate business, whether you're lending to them or whether they're bringing you deals and you're JVing with them or whatever.
Yeah, I've got a deal I'm JVing right now with a student. I got a deal that today I'm signing an assignment. He's making $5,000 and I'm getting a house. It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, you should
Yeah.
definitely do it. It's not easy, but it's not hard either. It's simple, right? You just got to do it. You just got to get on and figure out how to help somebody. That's that's what we love to do, and I think that
Hmm.
there are more people that are wanting to step up and do that, but they just don't know how, and they're overthinking it, like what you said. So, man, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. How do people reach out to you so that they can figure out how to take the next steps?
Yeah. Social media. My name is Kate Danese on all of social medias. So just send me a DM and, I'll help where I can.
Thank you so much for coming out, talking.
Awesome.
I can talk coaching all day long. So we're actually probably going to have another conversation about all this. So maybe you can help me
Okay,
out.
perfect. Yeah.
Uh,
Sounds good. Thank you
well,
for having me.
for sure. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions or if you heard something, you're like, man, I'd love to be a part of doing something like that, go to ascendyoursuccess.com and fill out a form. I'd love to talk to you personally. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.